The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to the Ring and All of the Sports. My name is Leo Connors and I'm your host. And tonight I got a very special guest, a professional wrestling fan, Brandon Belanger.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Not bad, man. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You know, if we didn't meet at Market Basket, we may not be doing this right now. I'm glad you stopped me.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right, Brandon, before we get into anything, I love this belt.
Oh, thank you.
This is the WWE Universal Belt.
This is actually the WWE Undisputed belt.
I'm sorry, Undisputed belt.
Undisputed.
So that's the regular, not Universal, obviously.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
I think I was about 13 years old.
Yep.
Christmas, I've always wanted a belt.
Right.
I'm a huge fan since I was 9. And I always begged my parents to buy me a belt. And I remember, I think one time it was my birthday, my 13th birthday.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, all that money is going to go toward the belt.
Right.
You're going to help me out. So Christmas came along, and I actually had like a bunch of wrestling stuff. I had like board games, video games,
Yep.
toys, all that. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, damn, I didn't have a belt though.
Right.
So they gave me my final gift, and I opened it up, and it was the championship.
Right.
And I was so excited. I felt like the N64 kid who went crazy on it.
Right.
And yeah, that was like so awesome because like I've always wanted to hold one. you
Right.
know? So one of the greatest moments of my life at a young age, at 13 years old, and you know, I actually slept with it. Not like that, but you know, I slept right next to it and said, "Hey,
You're
the champ's
excited.
here." Yeah, it was very exciting.
That's cool, man. It's always great too. Like, now, your parents like wrestling, or they just like it because you like it?
No, they're not really a big fan of wrestling
Right.
at all. But like, they'll like, you know, hear me talk about it sometimes.
Right. But
and
they
try
respect that you
yeah.
like it.
Oh yeah, I've been to
My mom don't. She
Yeah.
don't like it.
I actually been to a couple shows with my dad.
Oh, nice.
The first show I went to, I think I was about 11 years old. It was in Manchester, and I think it was the night after WrestleMania 20.
Yep.
And it was a SmackDown Live.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, pretty sweet. And then I actually brought my mom to her first wrestling show in Chaotic Wrestling.
Nice.
I think it was back in May in Nashua. She loved it.
Chunkies.
Yeah, and I actually...
I think I was at that one.
Yeah, that was a very good show. My mom was enjoying it. I made a sign saying this is my mom's first ever wrestling event, and she loved it, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Are they watching right now?
I hope they're watching.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Belanger.
What's up?
Got a great kid here.
This guy's a good dude.
All right, let's get into it. So, where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Nashua, New Hampshire, born and raised.
Yep.
I guess you could say I had a very good childhood, very unique one. Always been a huge wrestling fan, like I said, since I was 9 years old. So for the past 15 years, yeah, I did like a lot of sports. Did baseball, basketball as a kid.
Yeah.
Baseball, I couldn't get into.
No.
It's just, I know there's like a lot of huge baseball fans out
But
there.
that's all right. I mean, if it wasn't for you, it wasn't for you.
Yeah, exactly. But basketball, I really kind of got into because I
Yeah.
was a tall kid.
Right.
But I tried doing middle school, and of course, I didn't get a physical in, and stopped doing basketball ever since.
Right.
But yeah, I went to National High School South, did wrestling for 4 years back in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And
Nice. Well, you just covered 3 of the first
Yeah.
questions, right? So
like I
how about
said.
this? Were your friends into it too? Like, did your friends like it?
I have a lot of different friends that I talk about wrestling. Even people, like if I don't see them for a while, we'll
Yeah.
talk about it on Facebook.
Right.
Like actually, a lot of people at Market Basket are huge fans.
I did not know that.
Yeah. One of my good friends who works there, his name's Jim Joss.
Yeah.
Who you probably met.
Yep.
We actually been to like so many wrestling shows together in the past 2.5 years. I think
cool.
we've been to like at least 30 shows.
Wow. That is
Maybe
a lot.
maybe 40.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been to like a lot of shows. One of my best friends, my coworker, he's definitely the guy I talk to, and also probably throw his name out there, Adam Morris, who works there. We talk about wrestling, and everybody knows I talk about wrestling constantly. So I'm like, if I go on the show, this would be a great thing because I get to talk about wrestling.
Absolutely.
So,
Now, what about Derek? You know Derek that works? He's got the red jacket now?
Derek Gardette?
Yes.
Yeah, Derek, he unfortunately does not work there anymore.
Oh, wow.
He actually got transferred to the other store in Amherst.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So,
Nice. Good guy.
good guy.
Because we stopped, I was talking to him one day and stuff, so really nice guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, good for him, you know? All right, so listen, let's get into, we got a lot of fan questions today, guys, from Facebook. I actually got some on regular text messages and things like that. So we're going to jump right into it with my nephew, Kevin Polito. Kevin wants to know, how long do you think the Shield reunion will last? And what is the deal with the broken Matt Hardy gimmick? They keep showing hints, alluding to it, but it hasn't gone full Monty yet. I think they're missing big time by not somehow incorporating it into his character. What do you think?
All right, so the Shield, me and my coworkers talk about this all the time. I honestly feel like they could possibly last, I would say after Royal Rumble, so maybe in February, because there's rumors going around, and of course don't want to break the news, but there is rumors going around that Brock Lesnar will keep the Universal title until Mania, and Roman Reigns will go against Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, which I don't know how I feel about that personally.
Right, me either.
But
Me either. I'm not a big Roman fan.
Oh, I'm not either.
I like him a lot better when he's with the Shield, to be honest with you.
Yep, and that's the same.
And what about the broken Matt Hardy gimmick? I mean, I want him to do it.
So it has been said on Facebook and on YouTube, everything on social media, that he did get the gimmick back.
Yeah.
So they have to change the name. It can't be called Broken Matt Hardy anymore.
It's going to be called Woken.
Woken.
Yeah.
I made a bet with a couple of friends saying, like, listen, this is how he's going to come out. I don't know if it's going to be tonight on Monday Night Raw, next week. I don't know.
Right.
But I guarantee you he's going to come out. He's probably going to go out towards Bray Wyatt because that's the first guy.
Yep.
And he's going to listen, do his thing saying, you guys thought I was broken, but the truth is I have been awoken. And then he'll do the crazy laugh and do the biting on the teeth, but that'd be great. Yeah. But I think he definitely got it, and I'm so happy.
Me too.
The question is, what's Jeff Hardy's name going to be?
Right.
Because we all know it's Brother Nero.
Yes. But I don't know if they can take that away from him because that's his real middle name.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So luckily they might be able to keep that part
Keep
of it.
the Nero part. I think it's going to sound stupid, but I feel like it's going to be called Father Nero, personally.
It could be. He's a father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that could easily be. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the Shield's going to last a little longer. I definitely think they broke him up too early.
Yes, they did.
I'd like to see them go through at least Mania.
Yep.
At least through Mania. And then, I don't know. I'd like to see them amicably split, too. I don't want to see anybody turning on anybody.
No.
So it makes it easier for them to come to each other's rescue and stuff
totally
like
agree.
that, Even if one of them turns heel. You know what I mean? He can have matches with them, I guess, down the line, but I'd like to see them stay together as long as possible.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
totally agree.
Totally because, they definitely split them up way too early.
Yeah, they did.
They should have gone a 3-year run out of that.
Yeah,
honestly.
and the thing is, Seth Rollins even said that a couple times,
Yeah.
too,
Oh, did he
during his
really?
interviews. Yeah. And, it's a damn shame that they had to do
a
that.
lot of people definitely thought they would split too early.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Kevin, thanks for the question, bud. I appreciate it. Now we're going to go to my son, Mike Connors.
All right.
Mike wants to know, what was the first match you ever saw?
Like live?
Yeah, any first saw, so I would take it whether it's TV, live, you know what I mean? So just the first match you saw.
So the weird thing is, like, I'm 25.
Yep.
So people probably thought I grew up watching the Attitude Era. That is actually false.
Really?
I actually started watching wrestling in 2002. My cousin's always
The Attitude Era was over.
Yeah, the Attitude was pretty much over.
Absolutely.
My cousin was a huge fan. I didn't understand it, but of course, like, all the big names I knew was like Stone Cold, Triple H, Undertaker, The Rock.
Yeah,
I knew about those guys, but
Right,
I
of
didn't know
course.
anything about the business.
Yep.
So the first show I actually watched, and I just rented on DVD just to see what it was all about, was WrestleMania 18.
Oh, nice.
So technically, the first match I saw on that pay-per-view was Rob Van Dam versus William Regal for the Intercontinental title. But the first show that I really watched that made me get more into it, I mean, WrestleMania 18, don't get me wrong, great show.
Right.
Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, Icon versus Icon, don't get me wrong, great show. The first time I actually turned on the TV, it was a SmackDown. I think it was in December of 2002 or January of 2003. It was the episode with Tori Wilson's dad's funeral.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember that moment.
Good old Al. I
Yeah.
remember, yeah. He married a hot woman.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Dawn Marie.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Even just playing the role in that,
Oh,
having
yeah.
a hug and kiss you, had to make his wife very mad.
Seriously, but lucky man.
Yes.
But anyways, besides the point.
Right?
But no, my the first moment I saw it was when they had like that funeral arrangement with him, and he was in the
Yes.
casket,
Yes.
and then seeing Dawn Marie and Tori Wilson go at it, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, is this even legal? Like,
Right.
like I don't get this.
Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be entertaining, So I caught on from that, started watching more of SmackDown, and SmackDown at that time was at its prime,
Right.
personally. Then I watched a little bit of Raw, found out about Raw.
Yep.
And that's how I became a fan. But yeah, I guess you can say the first match I've ever saw
Nice.
was Rob Van Dam versus William Regal, Intercontinental title, WrestleMania 18.
Well, you were not even thought of by the time when I first saw my match. It was 1972. I was 7 years old.
Wow.
And it was Chief Jay Strongbow
Yep.
versus this guy called Joe Turco, the Continental Nobleman. He was a jobber, but he wrestled on TV for the WWF so much back then.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the first one, and it's funny because if I would have saw the match, if I would have turned the channel and saw the match midway through, I don't know if I would have stayed with it.
Yeah.
I saw Chief Jay coming down with the headdress, and I
Yeah.
was like,
That's different.
yeah. And then they had the match, and from there, I was hooked. I was hooked. Now, this question, I can only answer.
Yeah.
My son wants to know, who is the Lowell Luchador? Well, my son, I hate to bust your bubble, but it's Dad to me. I'm the Lowell Luchador. We'll put a picture up so you guys will see me as the Lowell Luchador.
Oh, he's going to be mad at you.
Oh, he's going to be all upset. Okay. So now the next question comes from Daryl Fuma, just like Puma,
Puma,
but with an O.
Lucha Underground.
Yes. He wants to know, what was the most memorable match you've seen in person?
Like I said, there's been so many matches I've seen. Well, does it have to be a match or can it be a moment too?
It can be a moment if you'd like.
All right, so I got two of them.
Okay.
And they were more recent.
Okay. Cool.
The one we were talking about, NXT Lowell, the first one they did.
Yes.
Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor.
Yep.
That match, first off, that whole show was great.
Oh, yeah.
That whole show was great.
Ciampa versus Busick.
Yeah.
Well, only Lorcan.
Yep.
Great
But
match.
that match was just phenomenal, and like the crowd reaction in that building was just ridiculous. And I remember I was cheering for both of them. I didn't care who won, but
Right.
I remember just like screaming, Joe, Joe,
Yep.
Joe, and it was amazing holding that NXT title, and it was a live show.
Yep.
It wasn't even televised.
It was not televised.
Beautiful. And
House show.
House show. And we'll get to that question. But going to WrestleMania 33,
Yep.
seeing the Hardy Boys return,
Nice.
and I'd never seen the Hardy Boys wrestle live before.
Oh, wow.
Single or together. So it was, and they're my favorite tag team of all time.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, greatest moment, and everyone doing the delete chant.
Right.
Just seeing a ladder match out of all things with that, it was crazy. But
It was a great match.
Great match.
Great match.
Greatest moment right there. And I remember once I was screaming, I got back in my chair. I was like, "Holy crap! Oh my God, I'm about to have a heart attack. The Hardy Boys are here!" But
Nice.
it was great. Great moment.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I have a couple moments. One of them was obviously what you had just brought up, Samoa Joe beating Finn Balor
Yep.
for the NXT title. A lot of you guys might know I've known Joe since 2002. We're not friends. He might not even know my name. He knows what I look like. When he sees me backstage, he knows there's food coming.
Yeah.
But that was just incredible because, like I said, I've been a fan of his since I met him in 2002. And really think that he should have been in there years and years
Oh,
before.
yeah, totally
you know?
agree. Totally
But to
agree.
see him win that belt on a house show, I thought the roof was going to come off. Honestly, you were there, so
Yeah.
you know. I am not exaggerating at all.
No.
That place went crazy for that.
Very crazy.
And a couple other ones I got is when Raven took on CM Punk in Ring of Honor.
That was great.
That was
great
just
rivalry.
all the matches was
Yep.
just phenomenal.
Yep.
There's another moment that I really liked being there for was when Low Key beat the crap out of everybody in
Yep.
Special K. It's just a moment that I enjoyed.
Yeah,
you
right,
know? Other than that, maybe like when I was younger and would go, wrestling came to the Janus skating rink in Lowell before. It came in June July, and August in 1978. So I was 13 years old.
Okay.
And we got to meet the guys. You know what I mean? Like, because we hung out at the skating rink.
Yep.
So when the guys pulled up, we got to talk. And they didn't talk to us a long time, but we got to say hi to them and stuff. It was just amazing. So that would be for me. Definitely the match between Joe and Finn Balor blew me away.
Definitely
And
great.
that, to me, that's my absolute favorite moment.
Yeah.
Runner-up is at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium when Shawn Michaels lost his smile. I was there.
Were you there for that?
I was there.
Oh my God, I remember how emotional that was back in the day too.
Yep.
And
Lost
trust
the
me, I
smile.
caught up with my wrestling history. I watched
Right. Oh,
everything
yeah, I'm
back
sure
then.
you have, of course.
But yeah, I remember that. That was really insane. And he was like in tears. People were crying in the stands.
Did you see the girl in the video?
Yeah.
That girl babysat my kids.
Oh,
older
really?
Kids, I swear. Her name's
Really?
Kim. Yep. She was like babysitter for like 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was balling. Sean was her favorite though.
Really?
She loved Shawn Michaels, and honestly, so did I. Not in the same way she does.
Yeah. Tearing up.
But I mean, I don't know if I brought this up to you in my capacity, but my opinion, in-ring worker. I'm not talking or anything. In the ring, wrestling, Shawn Michaels number one.
He is definitely in my top 7
You
list
know,
for sure.
And Ric Flair is right next to
Ric
him.
Flair.
Flair could talk a little better than Shawn. Not that Shawn can't talk.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because he's good
Oh, yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
But Ric Flair was one of my favorites growing up because, back in the territory days, how he would go everywhere. He'd be in Portland one night, Oregon, wrestling as a heel. Then he'd go down to Florida, wrestle as a babyface. No matter where he went, it didn't he wasn't just a heel.
Right.
Did
you see his documentary by any chance?
Yes, I have. I thought it was great.
How is that man still alive?
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I did a lot of drinking. Matter of fact, the last time he was in Boston, they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him fly out. He was so drunk.
Really?
Yep, they wouldn't let him fly. Crazy, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Really
All right.
crazy.
So listen, good friend of the show, Anthony Mark Balkus wants to know, how long have you been going to independent shows? And then I'll get to the next one after because you already told me you're not a big Celtic guy. So I'll do that after.
All right, so independent pro wrestling, the first show I went to was in 2010 where I saw Sonny Goodspeed, Todd Sopel.
Yep.
It wasn't at PBD at the time. I think it was in Merrimack,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
For Liberty States.
Yeah, from Liberty States. And that was actually
a good promotion.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I actually learned that from Tanner Hogue at the time, who's like one of my good friends.
Yep.
So, yeah, he was like, hey, you want to go to an independent pro wrestling show? And I was like, I've never been. Why not?
Right.
So I went there. It was kind of cheesy at the time because they had some cheesy characters.
Yep.
But,
But it was still fun.
it was still fun.
Yeah.
But, that was my first independent show. And then the next one was another Liberty States in 2012. Then it took off, I would say, in 2016, where me and Jim, I was like, hey, there's a Liberty State show. I've heard of it. You should go. It's in Peabody, Mass. He's like, it's about a good 45-minute drive. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
So ever since then, we became huge fans. And then we heard about Chaotic Wrestling.
Right.
And the first Chaotic Wrestling show we went to was the one in Lowell. I think it was in the
PAV.
the Grand Slams, I think it was.
Yep. Okay.
And we just we saw majority of the wrestlers from both shows,
Right.
like Christian Casanova,
Phenomenal.
great
talent.
wrestler.
Unbelievable. Seriously, great talent.
Yeah, Josh Briggs.
Yep, another
he's
great
up there. He's up there too.
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
Donovan Dijak. By the way, I want to say congratulations on making it to NXT. By the way, you deserve
absolutely. He does deserve it.
And I hope they use you right personally, because
Yeah.
he's one hell of a talent.
Unbelievable.
And
Seriously.
many more.
Yeah,
And but yeah, those are the only two independent pro wrestling shows I actually go to.
Okay.
I've only been to Liberty States. I can go there constantly, and I love seeing the kids having fun too.
Yes.
Awesome time.
Yeah. Todd has a good fan base for that company. He does. I've never been to the show, but I've heard from other people. I'm not a big fan of Todd.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Right.
Because he runs a good product
Right.
and he gives plenty of guys a place to work. Got to respect that.
And Chaotic Wrestling, Flip Gordon.
I keep saying unbelievable, but it is sometimes
Yeah.
when you see the talent he has.
Just seeing him live for the first time in Lowell
Yes.
was just ridiculous. I think it was a fatal, I can't remember, I think it was a fatal four-way match for
Right.
the New England Championship. I think one of the guys from the Hoods was in
Okay.
that, and it was
Chris
just
Pyro.
Chris
Probably,
Pyro,
yeah.
yeah. It was just, even though it was for a secondary title, it seemed
Right.
like a cruiserweight match, but it was perfect.
Unbelievable.
The kicks from those guys is
Yeah.
ridiculous. The
Yeah.
punches, the snaps, everything. All those guys
Chris
just.
Pyro's a hell of a
Chris
talent,
Pyro
too.
is, yes.
He is, and so is Davey Cash.
Yep.
Not, but just how his first size.
Yeah.
I would love to see him and Flip go one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
That would be incredible. You could throw in there, too? Devin Blaze.
Devin Blaze, yes.
That's another one. Nothing against Tommy Trainwreck's a
Yeah.
good wrestler too, but I'd love to see that. The
Yeah.
three-way between Flip, Devin, and you said it, Davey Cash and
I like Christian Casanova
Chris.
personally.
No, Chris Pyro.
Chris Pyro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris
okay.
Pyro. But yeah, that would be phenomenal. I talked about Flip today to the kids at my school.
Really?
Yeah, the kid, I told him I had a show. He's like, he didn't know. So I told him, if you've never watched it, this is the one you should watch, because I really do believe that Flip is going places. I also
Right.
told him to watch Josh Briggs' one, because they may not be around here much longer.
Right.
You know? The kids are like, no way. I'm like, oh, yeah. Well, I've been following the independent show since probably 1991.
91.
Yep. I did go to a lot of Tony Rumble shows. Great shows. The only shows I try to go to on a regular basis now are shows that are on Sunday.
Yep.
So I do get to go to like Beyond sometimes. You know what I mean? Friday nights are no good for me. I would love to go to every chaotic show. I would love to go
I
to
feel
every
you.
NECW show. New World Extreme down
Yeah.
by Rhode Island. I'd love to go to the XWA. There's just so many shows
Right,
I'd love
right.
to go to, but I just don't have the time.
The one I really want to go to is Ring of Honor for sure. At
I've
least
been to a
once.
couple. Yep,
At least
yep.
once.
Oh, I'll let you know, man. Maybe we'll go together.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
One more question from Anthony Mark Balkus right now. Do you think the Boston Celtics are legitimate contenders this year? Absolutely yes. And why? Kyrie Irving. This team is built for the long haul. They're like the second youngest team in the NBA. I loved Isaiah Thomas, but Kyrie Irving is a legit top 5 in the league. If he's not at the top, because I don't care what anybody says, he's just as good as LeBron.
Right.
He's just as good as Steph Curry. I think the Celtics are going to go far. I think they're going to win the Eastern Conference. I think they're going to get to the NBA championship. And who knows from there? They'll most likely play the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
But the Celtics have already beaten the Warriors. So we know we can beat them. Last year we beat them twice. So once, and then we lost in overtime the other time. But I do expect the Celtics to be contending for the NBA championship for the next 10 years, at least. They got such young players: Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, and the list goes on and on. I love the pickup. We traded Avery Bradley, who I loved, but we got Marcus Morris in return. I didn't really know much about him, but after watching him play for so long, I'm glad we have him. Anthony Mark Balkus, thank you very much for the question. Next up is my buddy Nathan Fuller wants to know, what was your first WWE live show?
I think I said it before. It was. I think it was called the WrestleMania Revenge Tour.
Okay.
I think, like I said, it was on March 15th, 2004.
Yeah.
I was 11 years old. The first show I went to was with my dad.
Where was it?
It was in Manchester, New Hampshire,
Okay.
and that's where I would go for like
Right.
the beginning shows as a
Yeah,
kid. Then I
yeah.
started going to Boston,
Yep.
Old, and then all those. But yeah, that was my first show. I gotta say, I was very honored, even though it was a live show. I was very honored to see Eddie Guerrero live because he was actually one of my favorites growing
Yep.
up. Like I said, top 7.
Yep.
I remember when he passed. That was very, very emotional.
For a lot of people.
For a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Just guy could definitely wrestle, man, and
He was a
great character, man.
Yes.
Lie, cheat, and steal, just like hitting someone with a chair, and then all of a sudden, or just like he pretends he gets hit with a chair,
Yeah.
throws it, and all of a sudden lays down. And
Great gimmick.
Yeah, great gimmick.
And he was at the top of his profession when he passed.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
that match against Brock when he won the world title,
Oh my God.
that's one where I got misty-eyed. You
Yeah.
know, I got emotional for that. And then when Benoit won,
Yeah.
and Eddie came down. I think
WrestleMania 20.
Benoit came down for Eddie too.
Yeah.
When Eddie won, just to see them celebrating together was really, really cool.
One hell of a moment for
Oh,
WrestleMania. too.
absolutely. My first WWE show, I probably was 10 years old. I'd say 75. I can't remember exactly the year, but it was at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium.
Yeah.
That's where I went to most of my shows when I was a
Yeah.
kid. My brother at the time, my brother passed, but he was 4 years older than me. So, by the time I hit, 10, 11 years old, my dad would just buy 2 tickets and drop me and my brother off because he was big enough to watch me then. But incredible. I loved going to the WWE live shows as a kid. I honestly and truly don't enjoy it as much now.
Right.
But they always put out a good product. And that's all that matters.
The only time to go to a live show is NXT, honestly, because it's
Yes.
not just like just a live show where they're like, okay, we're gonna do the simple 10 moves that people see on TV
Yeah.
and just call it quits. No, they actually put on like a 5-star match, like they
Oh,
would
yeah.
on TV, like Johnny Gargano,
Yep.
another guy who I think should make it to the main roster.
he will.
But again, hopefully they use him correctly.
That's the problem.
Because here's the thing, me and this kind of gets me all
Yeah.
upset sometimes, but I don't know what Vince McMahon is doing with these guys,
Right.
Because it's really bugging the crap out of me, and I'm
Yeah.
sure it's bugging everybody else. But that's why I said when Donovan Dijak's in NXT, I'm sure he's going to be one hell of a performer,
Yes.
great wrestler. It's just when they go put him in the WWE, what's going to happen? We
Right.
don't know. We're afraid for that.
Yep.
But like the way they're using, I'm trying to think. Let me give one for example, like the cruiserweights.
Yep.
The Cruiserweight Classic, first off, was a great tournament.
I loved it.
Amazing
I
tournament.
loved it.
I watched it like every week with
Yeah.
Raw and SmackDown, you know,
Right.
like I would do. And just a great tournament. And all the wrestlers that they had were amazing. And it was great seeing like Brian Kendrick back, Tajiri back.
Yes.
Great time. And even the finals with T.J. Perkins and who was it? Great Matalik? No.
Yeah, was
Yeah,
it?
it was great
Yeah, it
Matalik.
was.
Yeah. And
It was.
that great finals, and then when they brought it to Raw, it seemed like, okay, it might be good, and they're going to have their own show. The thing is, though, with 205 Live, I don't think it needs to be with Raw or SmackDown.
Should be by itself.
It should be by
Like
itself.
NXT.
Like NXT, yes. Totally agree.
100%. Yeah, I
Yep.
think you're exactly on the money with that. I really do. Yeah, that would definitely be the way to go, I think. Seeing that you brought them up, what do you think about Rich Swann? I'm a huge Rich Swann fan.
Rich
just so you
Swann,
know. I really am.
Jim doesn't like him personally.
I love
he
it.
doesn't like
I-
his gimmick
Yeah,
whatsoever.
a lot of people aren't happy with the gimmick.
I like it personally.
Me too. I do
I
too.
think it's very entertaining.
Me too.
The guy can flip.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was crazy. I think it was...
He's a great wrestler.
Great
There's
wrestler.
no doubt.
Great wrestler. I think it was either this past week or last week where they had the Fatal 4-Way match, and the guy starts running towards him, and he does a front flip over him. I'm like, what is this, man? Like, this is crazy.
Right.
But Rich Swann, great wrestler. He definitely has a background story, especially with his mom passing,
Yep.
his father passing at a young age, and winning the Cruiserweight Championship. To most people, for them, that's like winning a world championship for them because it's their own
Yes.
division.
Yep.
Other people don't see it that way. But I feel like they need to do something more with the Cruiserweight division to make it look like, oh, this is like one of the top shows to watch.
Right.
And personally, in my mind, I could, like, again, NXT, I watched Johnny Gargano versus, who was it, Pete Dunne for the UK title?
Yes, that was
That was
Wow.
a phenomenal match.
Yeah, it was.
You know, and
Pete Dunne's really good, too.
really good. And I'm glad they put that on NXT programming because I
Yeah.
feel if they put that on Raw or SmackDown, then they wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But
True.
yeah, honestly, they need to do something more with the cruiserweights. But to answer the question, Rich Swann, great athlete, great background story. Love the character.
Yep.
Love his charisma. I'm glad he was a former cruiserweight champion, had his moment, and hopefully he'll have many more to come.
Yes.
Personally, and hopefully Cedric Alexander
Another
gets a moment.
talent. He's unbelievable.
Seeing
that
him
kid.
live in Lowell. No, actually, it wasn't Lowell. I went to, I think they performed in Boston.
Oh,
last
yeah,
year?
yeah. UMass, right? Was it UMass?
no.
One of
Yeah,
their
it was
buildings.
UMass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
The Mullins Center.
Yeah, who did he wrestle? One of the NXT guys. He was just in that War Games match recently.
Oh, I didn't see
was-
it. I didn't see the War Games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a
Sorry,
great
man.
game.
Was it good?
It was
Well,
really
I'll
good.
probably watch it tomorrow when I get out of
Yeah.
work.
But he wrestled one of those guys, and again, 5-star match.
Right.
Man.
Oh, yeah. Cedric Alexander's an incredible talent. Real quick, just want to let you know, guys in the control room, I got a text from someone saying that he's got no feed. So just letting you guys know. Next question comes from a former guest who was on just recently,
Yep.
Maverick Wild. First, he wants to know, this was for me, will the Sydney Bacabella episode ever air publicly? Yes, it will. I guess I haven't done it right yet, but I'll fix that up, Mav. And what exactly was Sydney's problem with Paul Bosch? He said he was cheap. He didn't want to work for him because Paul Bosch was cheap, along with Vern Gagne, he said, was cheap, Don Owens. Yeah, Sydney was going on and on about bad promoters.
Yeah.
He liked Macklemore because he gave him his first job in Dallas, and he didn't mind Fritz Von Erich, but he did a lot of babysitting for those Von Erich brats, he said. Another question from Mav. What was your favorite The Ring and All Other Sports episode?
Oh, jeez. I gotta say, the Brick Stone one was pretty good, honestly. Like that, he's just like a very outgoing guy. He was pretty funny on that show.
He's a cool guy, too.
Between that and Josh Briggs. Josh Briggs, like,
Josh was another great guest.
I'm surprised, like, how far he's coming after 2 years.
2 years, man. Did you see the one where he did the match where he grabbed the top rope and went over the pole?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Incredible talent.
Awesome.
He played football for 4 years. He had
Yeah,
show,
and
so you know
UMass, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
and he's a hell of a talent.
Yeah.
Hell of a talent. My Mav is definitely the Sidney Bacabella one because I was trying so hard to not laugh during that whole episode. Pat Dillon, another one of my favorites because he was on the very first show, did me such a huge favor, and obviously the first show is always going to mean a lot to me. I got a couple more. Derek Dukes, when Derek came on, he was my second guest on the third episode. He ended up staying on for like 35, 40 shows.
Yeah.
Also, the next one, everybody I loved, all my guests, but I'm going to have to go with the one with my grandson, Josiah Diaz, the one with my daughter's boyfriend, Matt Sayer, and my son, Mike Corners, and from the guy that asked the very first question, Kevin Polito was on with me and Derek. If I say any more, I'm gonna, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I want you to know I loved each and every episode. But you asked the question, Mav, and I had to give you an answer. Daryl in the control room has another question. Have you met any pro wrestlers during a meet and greet or going into the building?
Yep. Does this including independent pro wrestlers too?
Everything.
Okay,
Yep.
so I definitely met, Brick Stone, Josh Briggs, Christian Casanova, all those guys.
At
Chaotic and
Liberty State?
Liberty States.
Okay, cool.
And like Donovan Dijak,
Yep.
which I had the pleasure to meet once before he actually, started.
That's cool.
But when it comes to WWE stars, the first wrestler I've actually ever met was Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit.
He's a great wrestler.
Great wrestler. He was world champion at the time.
Yep.
2004. And I met Ron Simmons, Rob Van Dam, Tommaso Ciampa,
Yep.
and Johnny Gargano. Those
Wow.
those four guys I
Right.
met actually at Chaotic Wrestling in Lowell.
Right.
And Ron Simmons, man, even though he's like short a little bit compared
Yeah.
to me,
Right.
the guy still got a grip because I was
Oh,
like
yeah.
I remember
He's
like
in great shape still.
oh yeah, I remember shaking his hand. And I was like, damn. And he's like, yeah. And he goes like this. And I'm like, ow.
Right.
Just like going crazy. And Rob Van Dam, when I met him, it was great because he just.
Was he baked?
He was definitely baked,
Okay.
for sure.
Nothing wrong with that, Rob.
No. But he was just like, yo, dude, what's up? How you doing? But
He is a cool guy.
But yeah,
I'll tell you a story about him in real after.
And Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, I was glad they were there because I was a big fan of those guys.
Right.
Watching them in the Cruiserweight Classic, NXT.
They were so good as a team.
They
too,
were
huh?
good, really good. And I told them, I was like, it's an honor to meet you guys. Honestly, it was more of an honor to meet them personally
Was it? Yeah.
than Ron Simmons and Rob
Yep.
Van Dam because
Right.
they can just go at it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Tommaso Ciampa with that powerbomb backcracker that he
Yeah,
does. That's a crazy move.
I love that move.
Love it. But those two definitely. I hope they do something right with those two.
Nice.
Like I said.
If I answered it, I'd go an hour and a half because I've met so many guys. All the Ring of Honor guys I met.
Yeah.
A lot of guys from the Jersey, Philadelphia, New York area. I've met Abdullah the Butcher. I've met Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, nice.
I've met Jerry the King Lawler. Really cool guys. I've met guys at independent shows, obviously independent wrestlers, but
Right.
I mean, I've met Bushwhacker Luke
Oh,
at a
really?
Lucky Pro show.
Wow.
I've met Don Marie. I met Stacy Carter at a Lucky Pro show. Just met way too many guys to to sit here. I'd be here
Right,
all
right,
day.
right.
But so we're gonna move on to the next one, and I think this one I'm gonna have to answer because someone was being a wise guy.
Yeah.
Uncle Eddie, Ed Hunt, wants to know who invented liquid soap and why. Well, Ed, liquid soap was invented by William Shepard in 1865. And why? Who cares?
Who cares?
So there you go, Ed. There's your question. All right. Now, Mav has another question for you.
Okay.
Are you a national televised fan, or do you keep up with the local wrestling? You pretty much have already answered that, but you can get into it more if you want.
Yeah,
And what do you enjoy more? That's a good part.
Ooh.
Exactly. Huh? That's tough.
Yeah, that is very tough.
'Cause obviously, I know you like both.
I definitely like both. I mean, like sometimes, like when you watch Raw and SmackDown, you're like, is it gonna be good or is it gonna be bad?
Right.
But yeah, going to the live shows. When it comes to WWE, I love going to the NXT shows because it's like watching like an independent show or watching Ring of Honor because they actually it's under Triple H's control, so he'll let them do whatever they want, which is great. That is perfect. Personally, I like going to the independents more because like with every show I go to, I always bring a championship belt because I got 2 other ones, so I switch it up. I like bringing the belts, and a kid comes up to me and he's like, wow, that's a cool belt. Can I hold it for 5 minutes or like for 5 seconds, whatever?
Right.
Give him the belt and let him take a picture. I'm like, isn't that cool? And I like seeing happy kids.
That is cool.
And that's why I like going to Liberty States because it's a nice little show.
Right.
And they actually put on some pretty good matches.
Yes.
And like I said, love seeing the kids having a great time.
Yep.
But when it comes to like all the shows I've been to, I would say the best one that I went to was WrestleMania 33.
Nice.
This past year. And that was my first WrestleMania, and that was my goal.
Really?
That was my dream at 9 years old. That's what I wanted to do. And it was crazy. You know, I never thought I would go there. And I just wanted to go as a fan. I didn't want to go as a wrestler or anything like that.
And where was it this year? Past year?
It was in April.
No, I said where was it?
Oh, where was it? Florida.
Florida. Nice. Why don't you tell us about your little experience of going to WrestleMania?
Oh, man.
'Cause I've never gone.
Yeah.
So why don't you just give us like a typical day? How many days were you down there for?
We were in Florida for a whole week.
Okay. So you go to any of the indie shows that were down there running that week?
No.
Oh, really?
We literally left, I think, what day did we leave? I think it was the day before WrestleMania itself.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you missed some of those, Matt. Yeah.
So we went there. I think we went to Florida. I think like we got there around 8 a.m.
Yep.
We went to go see.
And you get there on Saturday or Friday?
Saturday.
Okay.
So we got there Saturday, and we ended up running into my best friend's Jim's wife's father, who lives in Florida.
Okay.
So we actually had a place to stay. That was great.
Oh, wow. That
Saved
is
a
cool.
lot. Saved some money.
Yeah.
And we actually got to go. We didn't get to go to the fan access, but we got to go to the Superstore, which was amazing.
Was it?
All the merchandise that they had
Everything,
was
yeah.
ridiculous.
They have everything.
And they actually didn't.
Really?
They didn't have any Kevin Owens shirts. How weird is that? And I felt insulted for him, man, because that's awful. He's like one of your top guys. He's going against Chris Jericho for the United States title that night.
Right.
Ridiculous.
You would think there would be all kinds of Kevin Owens
Seriously.
stuff.
And he was a top talent at that point. You know, former Universal Champion, from like a month prior or whatever. But yeah. But yeah, the experience was amazing. Going there, like I remember waiting in line. We were there waiting in line for like an hour because there were 75,000 plus people.
Right.
Yeah, it's so like I can't like explain
That's
it.
awesome,
But yeah, it was great. It was
Were you a little bummed that you didn't get to go to the fan expo though? Like, were you? 'Cause, I mean, obviously, you're such a big fan. You know.
I was a little bit upset, but I didn't care. Like my main goal was to go to Mania, and I remember when we first went through the gate, and I saw like the setup and everything. It was like, wow, am I really here? Am I like pinching myself? Like this is a moment. And then I remember when I sat in my chair, I sat there and I'm like, wow, I'm actually at WrestleMania right now. This is ridiculous.
That's so cool.
And you know, it wasn't to like I remember I was talking about it for like a while. It wasn't to rub it in anybody's like face. Like, oh my God, I finally made it there. You know, this is what I wanted. And it was a great story because I remember back in it was when we first started going to all these wrestling shows.
Yeah.
We went to a Monday Night Raw. I ran into one of my friends back in high school, and he came up to me, and we were talking, and we're like, oh, how you been? It's been a while. And I asked him, hey, where are you sitting? I'm sitting in the front row. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You're going to see Brock Lesnar like in person. That's cool. And then he's like, where are you sitting? I was like, oh, on the balcony, whatever. And he's like, well, it's perks of you working at Market Basket. So it was kind of like an insult. And I'm like, wow, what a jackass.
Yeah.
You know? So I remember like I was so like upset about it. So when I went to Mania, it was like, did you have the money to go to Mania? Oh yeah, you know how I did it? Because I worked at Market Basket.
Exactly.
So it was kind of like shoving it in his face because it was just like, why would you say something like that?
There's nothing wrong with
There's
working
nothing.
at
Exactly.
Market Basket. Nothing at all wrong with
Nothing.
that. It's a good company to work for. It is. I worked there for a while.
Oh, did you?
I did, at the old store at that same location where Holly Lobby is. Yeah, I worked there. I worked in the deli, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved, dealing with the customers and stuff like that. Real quick, you brought up Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
When we were talking about great moments.
Yeah.
When I catered for House of Hardcore, I think I want to say had to be 5. The second one I did. AJ Styles took on Kevin Owens in the main event for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, really?
Held by AJ at the time. The match was over. I tell my grandson to go right over. He gets a picture with AJ holding the second most prestigious belt in all of wrestling, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Look at the picture. There's Kevin Owens trying to get thin because he's in the
Right.
shot. You see, he's like trying to get away from it. But great moments meeting guys like that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I had met,
for sure.
Kevin, my grandson got to meet Kevin earlier when he was with Chris Hero, and they treated him fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, next question is from Chris Gordon, Adrenaline Rush's #1 fan. I'm number 2. Right, Chris? All right, Chris said, what did you think of the Adrenaline Rush winning their Northeast Wrestling Tag Team titles this past Friday at Northeast Wrestling's Holiday Havoc? You ever seen Adrenaline Rush?
I have not.
Okay, let me answer this.
All right.
Adrenaline Rush is a great tag team consisting of Daniel Evans and Keith Youngblood. This past Friday night, they were in a 4-way against the Battle Brothers, the Graysons, and Ron Zombie and Bull Dredd. The winner of that match, they just won the match. I'm sorry. The GM for the night was Corey Graves. Now, they were having a ladder match for the tag team championship between TK O'Ryan and Vinny Masalia of the Kingdom, taking on the now Vic Delicious and Hale Collins. Well, Corey Graves decided to throw Adrenaline Rush in there, and they ended up climbing the ladder and getting the belts.
Wow.
What do I think of it? I think it's awesome. I think Adrenaline Rush is one of the top tag teams in New England. If they're not the top, they're really close.
Right.
Great talent. They complement each other in the ring. I was telling you about it outside. Yeah. These guys can work. Chris told me that there was a few injuries in the match. He was like, Keith's back got all torn up, and Daniel Evans got a concussion. Oof. Then he followed that up with Vic Delicious had 2 broken bones in his leg. Well, Vic Delicious got to be one tough guy because he wrestled Saturday night. House of Hardcore.
Right.
So, tough dude. I'm ecstatic, Chris, that they won. Matter of fact, tonight was going to be their appearance here on this show, but they had to cancel. We're going to get them in here eventually. And like I said, phenomenal tag team.
That's awesome, though.
Yes.
And tag team wrestling is definitely, upgraded a
now,
lot.
How much, you really love tag team wrestling big time?
Like I said, the Hardy Boys, my greatest tag team, the whole Edge and Christian. And I wish I started watching wrestling at that point in time because that was, the greatest, triangle, rivalry that they had at the time. But, yeah, I loved, there's so many tag teams that I followed up. Those guys, was there Too Cool at the time. I actually was a huge fan of Team Angle back in the day.
Really?
Yes. Team Angle, the Los Guerreros, Rhino, and I think it was Rhino and Chris Benoit or Chris Benoit and Edge. I love that, 3-way. The SmackDown tag team titles at that time.
Right.
I loved watching that tag team division over Raw at that point in time because they put on some great matches.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And, Los Guerreros, Team Angle. But definitely Team Angle. Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas.
They were a great tag team.
Great tag team.
Now, see, he brought up Charlie Haas and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. They brought him back. They split up. Alpha Male, was that the name of what's the name of the tag team with Jason Jordan and Chad Gable?
They don't even have a tag team.
They didn't have a name?
They're just...
I know they don't have a tag team anymore. What I don't understand is they split them up to tell everybody that he's Kurt Angle's kid that no one believes.
Yeah.
And then they bring in Sheldon to team with Gable. They should have left the team alone.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
brought
totally
in
agree.
Gable on his own.
Agree.
Brought in Sheldon on his own to be a singles wrestler.
And that's another thing. They've been splitting a lot of tag teams. That was another topic I was going to talk to you about. They've been splitting.
Well, let's do it.
Let's see. Who they split? The Hype Bros?
Yes.
Just recently?
But they weren't going anywhere, honestly. Yeah. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe. But yeah, they split up way too many times. They split up the Shield too early. We talked about that earlier.
Enzo and Cass. That was a team they shouldn't have broken up.
They never should have broken that up. I agree.
And honestly, those two were actually good together.
Yes, they were.
Separately, no.
Yeah. They thought that Cass was going to be a huge star. And I'm not saying he can't be, but he's not right now. No. And splitting him up from Enzo, they were great together. know,
You had
it's
the
a
mic
shame.
piece. You had the big guy who give you that big boot to the face, which was perfect. Every time he did that and they went over the ropes, I'm like, geez, man, like what? Oh my God, this guy's nose might be broken.
He definitely has a lot of talent, but like you said, they never should have split them.
No, they shouldn't.
I'd still love to see them still teaming right now.
But back to the Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Um,
Sheldon Benjamin.
no, actually, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan.
Okay.
They shouldn't have never broken them up.
Definitely
way
not.
too early. They could have had like another like 2 or 3 year run.
They were split up 6 months into their run.
Yeah, for SmackDown.
Yeah, and you brought them up because they were a team.
Yeah, I gotta say though, Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like him.
Yeah, I think he's a great wrestler.
I think he's an amazing wrestler. I get it. The whole Kurt Angle thing is too much.
I think that hurt him.
That definitely did. It definitely did because people are not buying it.
Nope.
But I gotta say, he's one hell of a performer. The matches he had with John Cena, Roman Reigns.
Oh, he's working his butt off.
And even Chad Gable, when he had that match with AJ Styles, a couple other matches, I'm like, that guy.
He's good.
Future right there.
He's just so small.
To
but like you said, they never should have split him up. They were a great tag team. And again, like I said, they brought him up for a reason as a tag team.
Yeah.
I don't think they brought him up. I don't even know why they went this way with the storyline.
Yeah.
Other than that Kurt Angle likes black women. It's a well-known fact. That's all, you know what I mean?
And he did try to go after Booker T's wife on TV.
Yeah, he did. And
05?
there was a few other girls that he dated that were in TNA with him.
TNA, yep.
I can't remember her name, but she was a tall woman. She was gorgeous.
Right.
Gorgeous. But, yeah, I don't understand why they did that at all.
I don't either. And I think it's kind of a good thing that they're doing Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable as a tag team just because, as we all know, Shelton Benjamin is a veteran in the business.
He can help.
And he can
There's
definitely
no
help.
doubt.
I think with Chad Gable, because Chad Gable can actually wrestle.
Right.
And I think he wants to give him pointers if he does get a singles run going on.
That
So
would be
make
cool.
them tag team champions, maybe.
Yep.
See how that goes, and then he can definitely teach, give him the ropes, show him what he is learning.
Which I'm sure he's doing.
Which he's doing.
While they're on the road.
But I would love to see personally Shelton Benjamin in a singles run.
Me too.
Hopefully becoming world champion at least once. Same thing with Matt Hardy. If they actually use this gimmick, the broken gimmick correctly, make him a one-time Universal Champion, one-time WWE Champion. We don't know. That's what I personally want to see. Shelton Benjamin, Matt Hardy, world champions in the next 2 or 3 years, personally.
That's cool.
Because those guys, Matt Hardy has gone through a lot. He's had his ups and downs, as we know.
Has.
And they made him into a big thing in TNA and definitely the Indies with this whole broken gimmick.
Yes.
And it caught my eye, and I'm like, wow, I wish I was there for those shows. A lot of people's eyes, And Shelton Benjamin, I've seen some of his stuff on YouTube. He's had some phenomenal matches in the indie scenes.
Yes.
These two guys definitely deserve to win a championship at least once to say, hey, I actually did something in WWE, and I actually did something with wrestling in general to say, hey, I was the man once, and I want to tell my kids that one day. Because we all know Matt Hardy has 2 kids, and he uses his son, as you can tell, for the broken gimmick sometimes, and that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be great. And I could see them doing this too. Let's say they break up, Sheldon and Chad, right?
Yep.
Chad starts beating on him.
Yep.
Jason comes in for the save.
Yep.
Who comes out from the stands? Charlie Haas.
Charlie
now
Haas.
you got 2 tag teams again into a feud,
Yep.
which I believe those matches would be fantastic. Because Haas and Benjamin, I don't care what anybody says, it's a great tag team.
Yeah.
So ain't the other guys.
Yeah, I would love to see a world's greatest tag team versus the American Alpha. Whoever wins.
That's what it is, American Alpha.
And whoever wins gets to go against Team Angle. That's how it should go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I got one more question that I wasn't going to answer.
Yeah.
Because it was a silly one. Big Woody, 2-time guest on the show, wants to know, do you know what the answer is? What's the capital of South Dakota?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. I had to look it up. I didn't know, Woody. But next time, give me a wrestling question, will you? All right. So you talked about tag teams and stuff just now, right? Have you ever seen any video on the Backseat Boys? Trent Acid and Johnny Cashman?
No.
You should check them out.
Check them out.
Great tag team. I talked to you off air about the best around that I talked with Chase Del Monte with last week.
Yep.
TJ Cannon and Bruce Maxwell. It's another team for you to check out. The Hit Squad. You ever see them?
Nope.
Oh, I'm going to have to write all these down.
Yeah, you definitely have to.
Because you really, really need to check these out. Have you been to a Beyond show yet?
I have not. Like I said, 2 independent shows was Chaotic Wrestling and Liberty States. That's it.
They run on Sundays. Maybe one of these Sundays we can go. It's very hard for me to make shows on the weekends. Very hard. I got special needs stepdaughter. You know, my grandson coming over who doesn't want to go to every show anymore. You know, my girlfriend or fiance, I'm sorry, doesn't really want to go to any shows. I have to practically beg her to go.
Oh, thank God my girlfriend loves wrestling.
Well, that's awesome.
Thank God.
She's a keeper.
She is a keeper.
She's a keeper.
Love that girl to death, too.
That's cool. So you said your favorite episode was Brickmaster Stone and Josh Briggs.
Brickmaster Stone and Josh Briggs, yes.
Those two guys are incredible.
Yes.
I could have sworn I went to a Chaotic show where they wrestled each other.
I think they did. I think it might have been in Nashville, personally. Yeah.
Both of them incredible talents.
Yep.
You had said earlier, too, Josh Briggs only been wrestling for 2 years.
Yep.
Incredible. It really is. The talent level that he's at,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, is crazy compared to, you know, other guys. But I'm just checking something out. At the end, I want to plug a few guests that's coming on.
Right.
I got to start booking people again.
Yeah.
Because at one point I had 6 months ahead.
Wow.
But now we're getting, as you can see, we're getting down there. I don't know if you caught the week before show with Joey Kilmartin.
I actually did not watch
Joey
that
is a great kid. Good little story. I've known him since he was in high school. It's when he started training to become a pro wrestler and stuff. Great, great kid. You know, Ref Kevin Quinn, he's coming back on again.
Really?
He told me he's going to bury people.
Oh, no.
So I told him, I said, Derek's going to like that because my old co-host wanted everyone to shit on everybody. That was his thing. He loved that. He absolutely loved that. But I do have some great guests coming up. I got next week, I got this guy called Pinky Petunia.
Okay. I've actually heard of him. Yeah.
He wrestled around here.
Yep.
He wants to do one of his little shows, the like a flower shop.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that and get him a guest. I don't know yet. The following week is open, you know, but I might, like I was telling you earlier, I may take 3 weeks off for the holidays. After that, I got Kevin Quinn coming in. And you, like I said, you know Kevin, probably the best referee in New England right now. What do you think about that? There's
Definitely
some good
agree.
ones.
I definitely agree.
Tony S. for Chaotic
Yep.
is great, too. But those are my top 2 favorite referees in New England right now. Are you familiar with seeing you go to Chaotic, Avery Forrestal's story?
15-year-old kid. Yeah, the kid who survived. He's a great kid, man. Twice. And he's a great kid.
He is a great kid.
And every time I see him, he's like, I'm always like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
He's just like, he's always out there. He actually went to WrestleMania, too, as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. But yeah, great kid. He's always nice because we, like I said, I go with my friend Jim.
Yep.
We also bring Jim's nephew to all
cool.
these shows as well. And
Young kid?
Yeah, young kid, 12 years old, and he
Nice.
actually got to see Avery, and they seem like they're pretty decent friends.
Yep.
But yeah, Avery's a great kid, and I'm very proud of like what that kid can become in
Yeah.
wrestling because he looks like he can go somewhere if he really keeps his mind to it. So
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Great kid, tough kid, you know
Tough
what I mean?
kid.
For what he's been through.
Yep.
It's amazing how hard he's working, too, to become a great professional wrestler. I expect big things out of Avery.
Yep, I do
In
too.
a couple weeks, I'm going to be having Avery's going to
Awesome.
be sitting right here,
Awesome.
along with Susanna Wicks.
Nice.
She does the backstage interviews now for Chaotic.
Yep.
And it's going to be nice to have a show with trainees.
Right.
They can explain everything they're going through, the drills, how hard it is.
The bumps.
What was the hardest thing for them to do while in training?
Yeah.
Was it the bumps? Was it hitting the ropes?
Yeah.
Was it, not being able to handle getting yelled at? I mean, there's a million things it could be.
Or handling the pain too.
Absolutely.
You know?
But I expect big things from Avery and Susanna, who just won the Turkey Rumble for the UFO show.
Really?
Yeah, the Holiday Havoc.
Wow.
No, Harvest Havoc.
Harvest,
I'm sorry.
yep.
Harvest Havoc, Pat Dillon show. And she won the Turkey Rumble.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Yes,
on that one, for
congratulations,
sure.
Susanna. Okay. Right now, who's your favorite WWE guy besides the Hardys? 'Cause
oh my
you just said
God.
the Hardys. So besides them,
Oh,
who do you
man.
put like right?
That's why I said I have a top 7. I don't.
How about this? Let's go through your top 7. That'd
right.
be great.
Let's see. The Hardy Boys,
Yep.
singles or tag team.
Yep.
I got to throw him in there because he's a manager. Paul Heyman.
Yep.
Definitely a guy I look up to. Kurt Angle. Definitely looked up to him back in the day.
Right.
Eddie Guerrero.
Yep.
Let's see. That's 4
Yep.
so far. CM Punk. I love CM Punk.
Yep.
I know he's been
Great talent.
Great talent.
Not the
CM
nicest of guys, but great
Yep.
talent. I met him a few times.
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
And my number one, of course, Nashville, New Hampshire's own Triple H.
Nice.
And I was honored to see that match between him and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That was phenomenal.
That really was.
Great match.
I mean, people like to rant and rave about Triple H because he married the boss's daughter and all that. He is one of the most talented wrestlers of all time.
I
don't
agree.
care what, and one of the toughest SOBs you'll ever see.
Yes.
Do you remember when he when he pulled his quad or whatever it was against Jericho?
I saw that.
And
That was
continued for another 15 minutes of that match. Let him get pulled into the walls of Jericho. Very, very tough guy. Love
totally
Triple
agree.
H. Some of those guys that you mentioned is at the top of my list too. Eddie Guerrero, absolutely love him. But switch out Punk with Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Some of my favorite tag teams are indies. They're not WWE guys. It's the Hit Squad. It's the Backseat Boys. Homicide used to team with Boogaloo as the Natural Born Sinners. I watched a lot of that on video. Great, great tag team. And the WWE, definitely the Hardys are up there.
Yeah.
Love the Hardys. I actually loved the World's Greatest Tag Team.
Yep.
But possibly my favorite WWE tag team of all time is Eminem.
They were a great tag team.
I'm a huge Joey Mercury fan.
Yeah.
Huge.
And he's a backstage guy now, isn't he?
Not anymore. He's gone.
Oh, really?
He just wrestled in the main event at House of Hardcore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's gone. A lot of talent. They put him with John Morrison to help him.
Yeah.
And they were incredible with Melina, too. A beautiful hot. Who doesn't love beautiful hot women? But we're coming down to the end, Brandon. Definitely, maybe down the line we can reschedule, have you come in again.
Heck yeah.
Maybe you could even sit in on a co-hosting job
Yeah.
with a chaotic wrestler.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think I would love that. Anthony Mark Balkas, I'm going to get you in. I'm going to start booking more guys. You're going to be a guest co-host. I promise. All right? Your boys can come. They can sit in the control room and watch the show. But you're definitely going to be on eventually. I promise you that. Guys, I'm going to stop booking guys as much as I can. If you're watching this and you want to be on the Ring and All Other Sports, hit me up on Facebook. Direct message me, and we'll go from there. Brandon, it was a pleasure having you on the
Thank you for
show.
having me.
Not a problem. Ready? We're out. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.